Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens to your trash after the truck rumbles down the street and turns the corner? Well, we're about to follow that journey step by step. We're going to unpack the entire system, from your curb to its final and maybe surprising destination. And this is all based on the official playbook for modern waste management. It seems like such a simple act, right? You toss something in the bin, the truck comes, and poof, it's just gone. But where does gone actually lead? That whole out of sight, out of mind idea? Yeah, we're about to pull back the curtain on that one.
And we're not just talking about finding a bit more space. This is a massive challenge, a literal mountain of our own making that just keeps growing. And believe me, how we deal with it has a direct impact on everything: the safety of the water we drink, the quality of the air we breathe, and even the health of our economy. So, before we dive into all the cool solutions, let's first get a handle on the stakes. What exactly happens when this whole system goes wrong? When waste is just dumped, it creates this nasty, toxic soup. That liquid, it's called leachate, can literally seep into the ground and poison our water supplies. At the same time, it's releasing methane, a super potent greenhouse gas, into the air. It becomes a breeding ground for pests that spread disease, and it can even cause these massive, hard-to-control fires. So the bottom line is, this isn't some far-off problem. It affects every single one of us.
Okay, so that's the scary part. The good news? The entire modern approach to fixing this is built on a really simple idea. And it's an idea that starts right where we are, in our kitchens, in our offices. This right here. This is it. This is the absolute cornerstone of the whole thing, separating our waste at the source. Just by splitting it into these three basic groups, wet, dry, and hazardous, we unlock the potential of everything that comes next. It's really the moment of decision. Does this piece of trash become pollution, or does it become a resource? Wet waste can become rich compost, dry waste gets recycled, and hazardous stuff can be handled safely. Without this first simple step, the whole system just, well, it breaks down.
And look at this. It's a perfect example of how the system is designed to make that first step easier. See, collection isn't about one big, messy bin anymore. These specialized carts have separate sections, which makes it super easy to keep those different types of waste pure, right from your doorstep.
All right, now that it's all sorted, let's hit the road. This is where that simple act we do at home scales up into a huge logistical operation. So getting the waste from millions of homes is, as you can imagine, a pretty complex puzzle. The system uses a whole fleet of different vehicles, each one picked for its specific environment. You've got these nimble tricycles that can get down narrow alleyways, and then bigger mini trucks for the main roads. It's a totally tailored solution, not some one-size-fits-all approach.
I mean, think about it for a second. It's like a reverse postal service, picking things up instead of dropping them off. But it's doing it for thousands and thousands of tons of material every single day. This is a highly coordinated, data-driven system designed to manage that incredible volume and keep it moving efficiently from our homes to wherever it's going next. Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. Once all that waste is collected, it arrives at a kind of crossroads, a place where a critical transformation can happen. The main goal here isn't just to get rid of stuff anymore. It's something called resource recovery. The entire philosophy has changed. We've stopped asking, how do we dispose of this? And we've started asking, what value can we pull out of this? It's a total game changer.
Now, what's so fascinating about this is that it shows the economic engine that's actually driving this big shift. A well-run waste system can actually make money by selling compost made from wet waste, or something called refuse-derived fuel from dry waste, and of course, all the recyclables. It all helps make the entire system pay for itself.
So let's take that wet waste, for example. Composting is such a fantastic example of resource recovery in action. It's a totally natural biological process that takes our kitchen scraps and turns them into this nutrient-rich soil conditioner. That conditioner can then be sold and used in farming. It's a perfect loop.
And what about the dry waste? Well, the options there are just as varied. Materials that have a lot of energy, like certain plastics, can be converted into what's called refuse-derived fuel, or RDF, which can then be used to power heavy industries like cement plants. And then, of course, there's the path we all know, recycling paper, plastic, and metals back into raw materials to be used all over again.
But what happens to that small amount of waste that's left over? The stuff that just can't be recovered or recycled? This is where the journey ends, and trust me, it's a world away from the old methods of just dumping it.
Let's be super clear about this. A modern sanitary landfill is not a dump. A dump is just a hole in the ground, a hole that leaks toxins and vents dangerous gas. A landfill, on the other hand, is a highly engineered facility. It's specifically designed from the ground up to contain waste safely and minimize its impact on the environment. And here's how they do it. You can almost think of it like a secure containment cell. At the very bottom, you have these impermeable liners that stop any of that toxic liquid from getting out. A whole system of pipes collects that liquid, the leachate, so it can be treated. Another system of pipes collects the methane gas, which can actually be used to generate electricity. And every single day, the waste is covered with a layer of soil to keep pests and odors under control. This isn't just dumping. This is science and engineering at work. So we followed this whole incredible, complex, and pretty impressive journey. But after all that, the most powerful question we can possibly ask is one that reframes the entire problem from the start. And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. This entire incredible journey we've just followed, the specialized trucks, the sorting facilities, the engineered landfills, all of it exists to manage a problem that we create. So the most powerful solution isn't found at the end of the line. It's found right at the very beginning. Simply reducing what we consume and what we throw away in the first place is the single most effective action any of us can take. That's the real final destination.